Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild and I'm struggling with my recording today. I'm a bit thrown off because this game does things again. The game did an update yesterday, as per usual. That should happen, kind of. But the problem now for me is that the mods don't work. And this update basically was not announced, so there was no video for it. Normally there are update videos and things, but there wasn't. So yeah, nothing was announced for that. There was no tweet, and I saw today that there also was no mention on Steam. So there was no update, but now we have a new stable version from yesterday. And I don't know, this is just crazy. So I am working here. At the moment, again, we are out of the basic mods. The nanites don't work, and I think also our mining drill or mining beam doesn't work. I didn't test that. I don't want to have anything explode on me. That's problematic. So other things, there seems to be updates to the way the game renders. And one thing that makes me angry a bit is that it seems the sun rotation changed again. Yesterday I was working here in broad daylight, and I had the feeling that the sun rotation here was so that we didn't really have nighttime in this area, and now we have nighttime again. And it seems from the light on the planets, by the way, this looks completely different, that the sun is somewhere down there. I don't know. We would have to go back to the solar satellites so that I could see a difference, kind of, because the solar satellite is my reference point for the sun rotation right now, because when I worked with it, it was the thing that made that where I can tell how the sun rotates, let us say it that way. So, but you are catching me in the middle of work. I already talked about this, but I was distracted, and now I have to do it again. So, yesterday I worked, or not yesterday, the last 2 days I worked a bit more with the crawler, and I did some work to you can see that, to basically the jack. And I changed where the pistons are. I moved them to these fake swing arms here. So we have a lot more space down here now. And I hope that it is also a bit more stable, because now the space in between the pistons is widened, because before it was 3 blocks or so. Now we have the whole range here. What we also can do is now we can drive vehicles down here, or we can whatever. Space. I also removed the reactor and moved the thrusters that were down here. So now we have this open hole here. One of my viewers, regular viewers, and you heard his name a lot in the last time, I think, Wolfing commented that it might be a good idea to open the belly of the beast and then maybe pull the small car into it. I thought about that too, and I wanted to just hang it below the whole, hang it below the whole structure, to avoid making all the work. And yesterday I thought, man, you have time, and just do it. Just go for it and remove the whole thing, and move the reactor. The reactor that was here is now in the front there. That also balances out the whole crawler a bit, I hope. And yeah, we get a whole lot of open space. Also, I widened the chassis here. That might also look good. Yeah, and now we can pull the whole thing in there. Problem with this is that this arm is not able to pull it in completely. And I had the idea to maybe go and bring the level where this car will then rest, basically. Maybe bring it down a bit so that the doors will be... how can I show that to you? The doors might be attached to these blocks. That's an idea I have for that, and I think I will go with that. But it doesn't change that this this construction just pulls it up and then it hangs out very, very much. So what I want to change is I want to have this basically as a crane. So one of my other viewers said, and I talked about that in the last episode, that there it might be good to just have this thing as the way to get into the crawler, and that's also a good idea. With that, I just bring down the car, get into the car, lift it up, and then I'm in the crawler without the use of my jetpack. So, but what I want to do or need to do now is I need to change this setup. So this setup needs to go. That's bad again. I already made groups for it and all that stuff, but we will get rid of it. I changed the routing of the conveyors here, and I need to weld this up so we can use the assemblers and all that stuff. That shouldn't be a problem. Maybe I will go and do this and then get a different welding torch. That should be a thing. Okay, let me reroute this, and then we go and change this whole setup. I will remove this and then we will change this. My old enemy welding glare is back. It's the worst. I'm sitting in a relatively dark room because I have a window to my right, and if I have my... how's this stuff called in English? The blinds. I say blinds are up. I can't see my monitor very well, and so I'm always putting them down a bit, and it's relatively late in the evening, so that makes all this really, really problematic when you sit here and have this crazy bright light in your eyes. Okay, a rotor. Is there a difference? I will just go with this one. That should be okay. This will be the elbow rotor, and I want to have the 0 pointing downwards. I'm taking this out of the middle so that I can attach the piston basically to it, and that's what I should do. Have it here. Now I can rotate this thing and have and have it when it... so the reach for both of these pistons will be the same, because I'm just attaching them to rotors, and I think I will get a bit of a problem at... no, I will not. I will not. I thought maybe I will get a bit of a problem, yeah, down at the bottom with the connector. I will have to see if I can side attach the connector to a rotor. That If that's possible, then I don't have any problems. Otherwise, I will have to adjust just the piston length when it comes out of here. So let me do some settings. If you do such things, and I have to remind myself of that always, if you do such things, name the stuff, name it, get in and then take a look at the incomplete things. This is the piston, and it is the piston upper, and I will also call it pickup. And this is the rotor, and it is the shoulder, I will just call it, and it is also for the pickup. So I'm doing that to be sure that I can identify the stuff later. If we do stuff like that, and you will have to constantly remind me of this, I'm trying to remind myself to name that stuff. The nanites make a problem with that a bit, because the nanites just finish that stuff, and you lose track of it. So the next thing will be the elbow joint, basically. So I will attach a rotor to this here, and should I go? I will go with the other side, so that everything is out of the way, so nothing hits itself up there. So we will put the 0 down at the bottom again. This way I can identify which way this whole thing turns and all that stuff. Because it will, in the end, I think I will try to do something with timers, so that if we press a button, the whole thing lifts up and then turns the rotors back in, basically. And then I will have to, basically be careful how the rotors turn themselves and all that stuff. It will be crazy. So next thing, naming this rotor. This is the incomplete, and this is the elbow. Elbow, pickup. And one thing that I see other people also kind of forget is, if you work with the nanites, always go and transfer the ownership to yourself. Also a thing that is mighty important. So I had the pistons also before with a block here. So now I hope I don't make a mistake by using the piston that way. That should be enough, I hope. Piston lower. Okay, and when we are done with that, piston lower, pick up. Lower means basically I don't know how's the upper and the lower arm, basically, and now we need to go for the, I hope that's enough. Now we need to go for the pickup. So before I had it that I had the connector directly here, and we now changed that so that this is the wrist joint, and we will call it accordingly, rotor. Right form? Is that the right thing to say, wrist? I think it is. You will have to tell me. And we will call it, we called it and we transfer it. And now we just, hopefully we can attach the connector just to that thing. That would be neat. We can. That's a good thing. Okay, so now we can just attach the connector here. Oh no. Okay, we have to do it that way. That is not the problem. Okay. So, I will weld this up. Let me also name the connector accordingly so we don't run into problems there. Where is it? There. Connector pickup. If you don't transfer the ownership to you with the nanites, you can run into the problem that if you have defensive guns, for example, they start shooting up your stuff, and that's not a nice thing. So, okay. If we're done with this, we are going to set it up in a certain way so that okay, we could run into problems. We could run into problems with we will have to see that. We will have to set up the upper and lower limits basically of the pistons and of the rotors. What I thought about is that now if we could space it out in a way where if we bring in this piston, we don't bring it in all the way and then we swing it up. Because right now the connector would hit if we turn this 90 degrees, or is it 90 or 180 degrees? We will have to see. We would hit this piston and maybe destroy it. So if we want to pick it up and have it hanging from the ceiling, basically the car, then we need to think about setting this up the right way. So with a minimal way of sticking out. Is that right? I don't care. So you can set up the upper and lower limits of pistons too, and the lower limit should be in a way where it just barely sticks out, so this connector can fold in to the top there. Okay, let me weld this up, and then I will come back to you with the settings. Okay, let us go and see how long the pistons are in the end. I want to have the pistons, control over the pistons, and we will go and set up a new system or a new group for these pickup piston. Save that so that we can control it from here, that we don't have to search for them, a crazy search for them. Let us see. We need to set the lower one later. What is up with the lower one? Why is it not? Why is the lower one not working? Piston. Ooh, I need to change this, otherwise people will be at my throat, I would say. And the lower one, yeah. Let me see. It should just stick out so that we can see how far we have to. If I reverse that, oh yeah, then now it goes. Good thing. Okay, this will be the height we need to take a look at for later too, because later we basically just want to distract this amount of stuff or this amount of height from the piston itself. We did that the last time too. So the last time we had to basically lower the upper limit of the piston, and I will go into the car and we will see how close we can get to it. I have the feeling that the car is a lot more stable. Maybe the new version did something at least there for us. It seems to be a lot more not maneuverable, but yeah, stable. Stable is the word to say here. So we go and set the lower limit of this, the upper limit of the lower piston. We will set to 9 for now. Later we will change that again and change this to 9.8 meters. So now we reverse it again, and see, now we are able to go below that whole thing, and we could bring it in now if we would want. So now we need to take a look at the lower, or at the wrist. No. We need to drive it away again, because I want to do some work with the wrist mount there, basically, and I don't want to crash the car into the ground, because now we need to set up this rotor to go for 90 degrees. I will have to take a look at the time we are recording. Let me set up a bit more, and then if we can test it for the first time, we will do that together. Okay, I have set up everything, and we will do the first test if this thing works. For now, without the car. I don't want to destroy this. At the moment, I have two independent, basically pickups, and later we could do that with timers. For now, I have the basically pushing out the pistons. We can do that by I need to sit down or something like that. I can just do that by doing this pickup piston. I'm pointing towards it, and I should do this up. I can just set this to reverse. One of the pistons is set up, and that's the lower one. You can see that at the moment that he has a lower limit that is 3 meters. I know I could go for, I think, 2.5 or 2.6 to not have problems. But our main thing right now is to, if I hopefully have set it up the right way, that this rotor basically rotates into this direction. I thought I had, so this should rotate into this direction. This should rotate into this direction, and this rotates, and I already tested this, into that direction. But now the question is, do they do that? Do they all do that in conjunction to each other? So the middle rotor, the elbow rotor, is set up to double the speed of the other two rotors, because it needs to rotate double the distance. So let us see if that works. Ooh, is it beautiful? Is this beautiful? I hope that this gives us enough space to rotate the car in, and we don't run into, oh, see, this is too close for my taste. Oh, but it works. It works. Oh man, this is amazing. So with this thing, we are able to haul basically the whole car into the body of the crawler, and shouldn't have problems with storing it in here. So let us do one more thing. I want to control one more thing for the rotors if I have set up the braking torque in the right way. See, this whole thing moves. Pistons are still dangerous. What we are doing here could easily screw us over. Completely screw us over. I will rotate this out now again, and then we will do it with a car, just because we can. I will put put this away. The connector comes up relatively straight, so that don't explode now. That would be bad. So that should help us with it, but I want to be let me be a bit more careful than I maybe need to be, but I will gladly remove some of these blocks to be able to bring in the car without it getting damaged. So now we need to bring out the pistons. We can do that. Also, I could set up buttons. Maybe I do that. But for now, we will just work with these. Now I can bring in the car. Hopefully relatively straight. And brake off. No, the other way around. I will try to go into this as straight as possible. We have no way to really control if we are straight, and with the back wheel there, the car behaves a bit problematic when it comes to going straight, because the back wheel also, maybe I will change the back wheel to be just a steering wheel and not be a wheel that also drives the car. Because if it is not set up the right way, it basically brings the car to go eccentric. Is that the right word? So it pushes it off a bit. Okay, let us go up and then see. The pistons should just pull it in. That should work out without flaw, I hope. And then we are done for today. So, pistons, bring it in. That looks beautiful. My chair makes noises. So, this looks beautiful. Nice thing, okay. And when this thing is in, we hope that we don't break anything with it now coming in again. Okay, let us... Ooh, this is... this is... For some reason, this is really, really tense. But it works. It seemed to work. If I have enough space for everything, and I don't... I could have... the blocks could have stayed there easily. And it also comes in relatively straight when it comes to the sides. Now, question is, do we damage anything with this? No. It could. Maybe we could lower the limit of the elbow a bit. The elbow rotor, so that this is not so close to each other. Okay, let me bring that down again. I don't want to store it that way, but we see that it works. That's a good thing. I'm absolutely happy that this works out. And we have enough space. We can even walk below that thing. That's a nice thing. What I will do is I will lower the limits of the elbow rotor a bit and the limit of... I will just lower the upper limits basically, or the lower limits. I don't know if that's one of the limits a bit, so that it doesn't completely fold into each other. That looks nicer, but it keeps the car from being too close to the pistons. I will do that in the meantime. But for today, we had a relatively... No, we had an absolutely perfect go with this thing. And now we can store the whole thing in the belly of the beast. That's absolutely cool. Good, people. I hope you liked the episode. Even if it was dark, I need to go and maybe set up some lights for the future. But I hope it was bright enough. I could have turned on the light. That would have been neat. Good, people. I hope you liked it. If you did, then please leave a like on it. And I hope to see you in the next episode on Monday.